The Supreme Court on Monday delivered a win for former President Trump in largely shielding former presidents from criminal prosecution for actions they take while in office. The 6-3 decision along ideological lines determined presidents have absolute immunity for actions that fall within the core responsibilities of their office and are presumptively immune for all other official acts. The decision dooms various portions of special counsel Jack Smith's case against Trump, going forward with the court writing that some of the ways the former president leveraged his power could be considered an exercise of the office. The dissenting liberal Justice Blatt's decision is one that effectively creates a law-free zone around the president. The majority's decision provides a broad shield to former presidents for their conduct while in the White House. It sorts conduct into three buckets: core constitutional powers, official acts, and unofficial acts. For the first bucket, the court definitively ruled that former presidents are immune, at least with respect to the president's exercise of his core constitutional powers. This immunity must be absolute, Chief Justice John Roberts wrote for the majority. All other official acts are at least presumptively immune, putting the burden on the government and possibly protecting them entirely. At the current stage of proceedings in this case, however, we need not and do not decide whether that immunity must be absolute or instead whether a presumptive immunity is sufficient. As for official acts, the parties never disputed those could be prosecuted. So, this is one of those stories that people are going to spend a lot more time on than I am because, I mean, does it really surprise anyone that the right wing Supreme Court would vote in a way that is beneficial to the last right wing president? Or rather, vote this way at a time where he is facing multiple criminal, dozens of criminal charges that have to do with things he did while in office. I guess the biggest takeaway here is that this does confirm if you have been elected president of the United States, you can pretty much do whatever you want while in office. Like a lot of Trump's sycophants will come to my channel and they'll say, "You're just a Democrat. You're just a Democrat." It's like, not really. I would be completely fine with Obama being prosecuted for his war crimes, or I mean, we can go further down the list. Anytime there's a violation of international law or American law by an American president, I don't care if they're a Democrat or Republican, a Green, a Whig, a Libertarian, as long as they do something that violates the law, I'm in favor of them facing penalties for it, whether it's a trial or conviction for doing the act that they're accused of. But now it looks like we're never going to actually see any responsibility on the part of these people. And it's very dangerous because even if you don't think Trump has done something completely insane, which you're whatever, give it a few more years until Biden's gone, and I mean, heck, Biden might get another term, and then we'll wonder what happens in those 4 years. But whoever the next president is, whether they're Democrat or Republican, they are free to break the law, and as long as it can be interpreted as falling under the clause of the powers they have with their office, then oh well, too bad. So sad. If you want to see any kind of consequence for these people, absolute immunity for actions that fall within the core responsibilities of their office. Um, just a lawless society, and it's just another confirmation that the most powerful people, those that get elected to these offices, those that have a bunch of money, which usually tend to fall in line with each other or overlap, they can do whatever they want. Think about this: Trump appoints 3 Supreme Court justices, and it's a coincidence that all 3 of them voted to make it to where he and anyone that comes after him, and I guess anyone that came before him, now have immunity to being prosecuted as long as their crimes fall within the responsibility of their office. That's all a big coincidence that half the people who voted for this were put on the court by him at a time where he's facing all of these criminal charges. But that's why I said, like, why do we even bother like sitting here and actually hoping that the law will ever catch up with those that have done the things that these people do? If a regular person did half the stuff that Trump has done, they'd be in prison, key thrown away without even a question. But They're just not. We don't live in a serious society. The laws are a joke. The people that are in charge of enforcing these laws are a big parody of themselves, and unfortunately, the people that suffer the most are those that don't have any power. Supreme Court at this point is it should be called the Kangaroo Court. The three buckets: core constitutional powers, official acts, non-official acts. At that point, you might as well just say acts. Just say anything they do, immunity. They're president. They can just do whatever they want. They can break any law, whether it's international or domestic, and there will be no prosecution for it, no reprisal, nothing for just flagrantly disrespecting whatever we claim to. That's why I said this is a society of no laws. People can just do whatever they want, especially if they have money and power. It's over. They're immune. So that's another example and another sad piece of the American story.